Welcome, Mona Lisa. We really appreciate your leadership and taking the time to do this interview with us today.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So as always, we like to begin by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we are on, as well as our ancestors and those who toiled without compassion or compensation. We'd like to acknowledge our elders and community stewards whose shoulders that we continue to stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation. So I want to start off by just having you introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers and let us know about the remarkable work that you do.
Thank you. So my name is Mona Lisa Prosper. I'm the director of Futurepreneur's Black Entrepreneur Startup Program. I actually joined Futurepreneur 2.5 years ago, right when the program was launched. And I'm very happy and proud of the success we've been having so far. So very quickly, Futurepreneur, we are a national nonprofit. We offer funding and mentorship, always together, to young entrepreneurs aged between 18 to 39 all over Canada. And since March of 2021, we launched our Black Entrepreneur Startup Program. That's really a tailored version of our core offering to address specific barriers faced by young Black entrepreneurs. So I had the pleasure of leading that program since launch, and it's going great. So in a nutshell, this is who I am and what I do.
That's great. And can you elaborate, articulate the mission and the vision of Futurepreneur for us?
Yes. So our mission is to really want to help young entrepreneurs grow. We really want to help if I may say, entrepreneurial ecosystem of Canada be more representative, be more diverse and inclusive. And in doing that, we help young entrepreneurs access funding. And we really focus on startups. And the reason for that is that if you think about it, there's a huge gap, right? In order to access funding from banks, you need to either have assets to show for it, or your business needs to have been operating for quite some time for you to be able to show sales and so on. But for the entrepreneurs that are just launching, and especially the younger ones who tend to not have any assets yet or anything, there's sort of nothing out there, right? So in the past 25 plus years, Futurepreneur has been there to provide that like early stage funding to our entrepreneurs to help them launch, grow, and scale. And we added the mentorship component in there. So, and just as an example, there are some pretty cool Canadian companies that received our loan at the very beginning. Knix, the underwear company founded by Joanna Griffiths, who sits on our board, they received our funding first. The jewelry company, they received our funding at the very beginning, and I could go on and on. So that's really what we do.
That's great. I love to hear it. It's good to see that, it's already being effective. So how important is social innovation in your work?
That's interesting. So I would say that social innovation per se probably comes more into our more tailored programs. It's more into our offering and what we do, because we are agnostic in terms of industries. So entrepreneurs come to us, it's either like a mom and pop shop or certain tech companies. But since we offer a loan, you can't be at the R&D stage to access our loan. You really need to be close to commercialization. So we can't say per se that we help fund specifically social innovation businesses, but in our way of operating and our way of addressing the issues in the market, we were able to innovate within our offerings to offer tailored programming. So I lead our Black Entrepreneur Startup Program, but we also have an Indigenous Entrepreneur Startup Program that was launched in 2019. And these programs are really led and worked in by professionals with lived experience. And we really pay attention to the specific needs of these communities in what we do. And we always try to improve so that even more of these underserved communities get represented and get help, so that we truly have an inclusive and representative ecosystem in the end.
Thank you for that. And so what inspires you most about the current work that you do?
Oh man, what drives me is the impact. I'm a very I get bored easily. I like to do a million things at once, but what really drives me is doing concrete things, the impact that we're having on the ground. So to know that in 2.5 years of launching this program, we helped close to 350 businesses launch, Black entrepreneurs launch. To me, that's like, okay, I'm doing work that's truly helpful to the community. and how can we get more, how can we keep going? So that's really, really, really what drives me. It's always about the impact that we're having, and how much we're truly serving our mission, and helping our Black entrepreneurs and our entrepreneurs in general. I'm speaking on behalf of the Black Entrepreneur Startup Program, but Futurepreneur as a whole, truly realize their dream.
I love that. So what kind of challenges and barriers are you facing in your work, and like what are you guys doing to overcome that? Can you share some of that with us?
Of course. What can I choose to talk about? You know what? What was interesting when we launched the program is, well, to begin, when I first joined Futurepreneur and I learned about the Black Entrepreneur Startup Program, what was important to me was, okay, is this just a program that we're labeling for Black entrepreneurs, or are we really truly trying to make a difference? And I was very happy to see that we really truly were trying to make a difference. So there are specific differences with our program. So I know it might be a lot of details, but it's just important for me to get into these details before I answer the question. So um, the first thing is we offer follow-on financing as part of this program. So that not only do we help young Black entrepreneurs launch their businesses, but we help them scale after 2 years. They can come back to us. This is a first at Futurepreneur. No other program offers follow-on financing because we focus on startups, and you can only get a Futurepreneur loan at one point in your business and only once, when you launch. So for this program, knowing that just general access to financing is one of the main barriers faced by young Black entrepreneurs, we were able to add that component. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that we found a way to be a little bit more credit inclusive, because we know that it's an important barrier. We know that financial literacy is an important issue in our communities, if I may say. So we found a way to be a little bit more inclusive, so that a little bit more entrepreneurs that would normally get declined because of credit in our regular program, they can get access to up to $10,000 in as part of the Black Entrepreneur. So that being said, when I first launched, was very happy to learn about that, started building the team and funding entrepreneurs. I noticed that there was, a lot more that could be done, in the sense that a lot of entrepreneurs coming to us were way too early stage to even access our funding. They needed more help in, working their business plans and their cash flow projections. Even if we do offer certain help, we have an entrepreneur in residence and we have different webinars, it still wasn't enough. So a lot of time we would refer these entrepreneurs to the ecosystem, because we have so many other great organizations in Canada that are helping Black entrepreneurs right now. But that to me was a challenge, because I felt like even if we were reaching great numbers, or our program is great, we're helping, there was a lot more that we weren't able to help yet. So I would say, was it a year? I think a year and a half after launching, I was able to create a new position within our program, which is a program specialist. And his role is really to develop training programs specific to our Black entrepreneurs, sort of a program for us, by us, in smart cohorts, where we'll be able to help these entrepreneurs that we normally had to tell them to go, see XYZ other organization, in the hopes that we'll get a lot more to convert into applications. So that's one of the things that we were able to overcome, a challenge that we saw. We overcame it with that, and we're about to launch our pilot for that program in November. So we'll see. Hopefully, my hypothesis was right, and this allows us to help more entrepreneurs.
Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed. It makes a lot of sense. So I trust it will. Do you have a key set of priorities that you're working on right now that you want to highlight and bring attention to?
You know what? One thing that has been top of mind, I mentioned how, like, Futurepreneur, never alone without a mentor, never a mentor without a loan. Well, in order for that to be true, we need mentors, right? And as part of our mentor database, we have over 1,000 mentors, if not more. Don't quote me on the number. I would have to check our facts. We have a lot of mentors as part of our database. But we really want that database to be representative, right? And we want to have a diverse set of mentors. So my team's goal is really to attract and recruit more Black mentors to be part of our database. Because it's not automatic that a Black entrepreneur is going to be matched with a Black mentor, but we know that sometimes some Black entrepreneurs make that request, understandably so. And when they do make that request, we want to be able to meet it. So this is sort of a call out to anybody out there with a certain level of experience who wants to give back to their communities, and want to become a volunteer mentor for our Black entrepreneurs, please reach out to us. There are numerous ways that you can get involved. So this is really top of mind for us. Outside of getting even more entrepreneurs, accessing our funding and having solid business structures, it's really to attract more Black mentors to our program.
I love that. I appreciate that as you sharing that. And I'm sure you'll be inundated with a lot of contacts around that one. Can you share what you feel you hope for the future of social innovation and philanthropy in Canada?
So this might be a controversial one, but I would say I think it's extremely important for different movements to exist and specific programming to exist in order to sort of level the playing field. But in an ideal world, and in an ideal world in a very, very long time, but you asked me what my dream is in the future, it would be for none of these programs to have to exist anymore, right? So that there are no longer any, barriers. Everything is sort of equal. I know it's kind of utopic to think that way, but this is the reason why we're doing all this work, and we need to be focused, right, and have these specialized things, specialized programs, specialized whatever, so that we're able to bring everybody up to the same level. But the goal of every movement is not to exist anymore, right, in the end. So that's what I would say.
And sometimes this question is actually different, or this answer is different. But is this also what you would say is your ultimate goal? So we asked, what is your ultimate goal, and what does success look like for you and your colleagues?
You know what? Yes, I would say that this is also my ultimate goal. If I put on my, Futurepreneur Black Entrepreneur Startup Program Director, hat, it's definitely the goal to have, so that it becomes normal. And every time we're not looking at, different images and be like, oh, where's the diversity there? Or, oh, there's not enough this and this, that. It's always there because it becomes the norm. Yeah.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Do you have any closing thoughts or calls to action for the community?
Nothing more than let's continue working together, right? I think everybody's an expert in one thing, and it's okay to have a specific focus, but we can't work at it alone. So like I always said at Futurepreneur, the only way I knew we were going to be successful is in how well we worked and collaborated with all the other amazing organizations and individuals that are working towards the same goal. So yeah, let's continue working together. Collaboration is key in whatever it is that we do.
Absolutely. There you have it. I think that's been the theme of the year for sure, or the last couple of years, is collaboration is key. So thank you for touching on that. And again, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this interview today. We just want to close the way that we began by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands we are on, as well as our ancestors and those who toiled without compassion or compensation, and our elders as well. All of those who are able to lean on as we continue to build and share and learn. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for tuning in to our listeners.
Thank you.